Hey everyone, it's Modern Day Nana. Okay, we are going to make a grimoire for display for our Halloween this year. Now I've got this thrifted book that is a really nice quality book. The pages are a really nice quality paper, but it works really well. So I think if you use a cheaper paper in a book or a nice like glossy one, because this had a lot of photos and stuff, it any way you do it, it'll work well. I'm just showing you here because I already did. See how thick the book is here on the edges? I'm just showing you kind of what I did, and I switch up here to the coffee stain that I had in the last video, and where we did those old creepy dolls. And I didn't do every page in the book. There I go. I switch up there to the coffee stain. That's just coffee, literally. So I just do that periodically throughout the book. Now I did let this book dry kind of out in the sun for, I'd say, a couple days. I had other things to do. So I just kind of flipped it every once in a while, flipped the pages to a new page and let it dry out. Now I have some tissue paper from an old pattern I just showed you. And I also have this packing paper from getting stuff in the mail. And we are going to cover the outside of the book with this packing paper. Now, you don't really see the outside of the book, but you want it finished. You want it to look finished. So that's what we end up doing here. Now, this happened to be a pretty nice long piece I had, so I just went ahead and kind of measured it, kind of looked at it, and then I got my glue out. Now, this is just glue, random glue that I stuck in this jar. I'd like to be able to get my paintbrush down in there and kind of be able to use it that way, but in this case, of course, I just poured it out, and we are just going to be nice and liberal with the glue, and it's just good old school glue. Make sure you have it good on the spine, good on the edges, and I just kind of as a base, I don't it doesn't end up staying wrapped around it like that, but I just wanted to kind of give it a base. Now we have got the underside glued. Now we take our glue and just smear it all over the top. And I'm just going to work that in. Now see how that's got like a nice crinkly look to it already? Then I just start pushing it upward with my hands. And I'm just trying to kind of make it look weathered, almost like leather. Just kind of a rough texture. And work it in, give it some crinkles. And it doesn't matter if you kind of tear the paper a little bit. It's very forgiving and you can just go over it. So yeah, I'm just going to work with it. And oh, see there? Got a couple little holes in the middle. No problem. This is really just a fun, messy kind of thing. I've loved being outside this season. Loved it. I'm in the Midwest, so we definitely have a winter, so I'll be sad when I have to go inside, but I'm taking full advantage of getting to be outside and enjoy the season. So I'm just working this glue in. Oh, see that little witch hat up there in the corner? That's from our previous project. I didn't end up using it. It took a while to dry because I really gunked it up with glue. That was in the one with the creepy dolls. So, yep, we're just going to add the paper here and scrunch it up and use what you've got. I had this packing paper, a paper grocery sack would work. I like the papery, but anything, the other things would work too. You could do tissue paper on the back as well. Save your tissue paper from gifts and things like that. You could probably even do junk mail because we are going to end up painting this, especially if you're not giving it or you're not selling it. So Oh, I'm just trying to get rid of my glues here and kind of consolidate. That was some old Mod Podge I had, so just trying to use what I've got. Now this is a good time. This is school started, but it's a good time to pick up glue. With all the school supplies out. Okay, so we're just going to work on this and get it all bunched up here together. Okay, there we go. All right, she looks pretty good. Kind of rough. No, here I take a piece of this and just kind of add that over that spot. You wouldn't have to because we end up painting it, but still, I am a little persnickety like that. I think I've called it before controlled chaos. That seems to be my way of doing things. Yep, I'm a mess. Always. Okay, now I had gotten all these printables off of Graphics Fairy. I had gone on and just gone to her Halloween tab, and she has all kinds of free printables. Look, there's some tea bags in there. It started out as coffee, and then I had to make more, and I had some tea bags I wanted to use. So I just dunked the edge in, right, really where I wanted to pull it off at, and got it wet. And then this makes a nice rough edge when you go to lay it down on something, and it easily adheres to whatever you're putting it on. It's not like that sharp edge of, where it's been cut and made into this, whatever it is, 8x11 sheet of paper. So I just do that on a few, and then I just kind of decide which ones I think look best. Now, if you didn't want the coffee stain or tea stain, you could just use water. And they do have those little water pins that you just fill up with a little bit of water. But I was outside. I already had this going from the other project, so I thought, oh, what can I do while I'm got this mess out here? So see, I'm just pulling it off, leave some jagged edges, and I kind of go through and do a bunch of those. They're all flying off the table, but I collect them. Don't worry. And then I have a nice little pile when I'm done I can use for other projects as we go along, and I won't have to get the mess out again. And I have some things to choose from here. Okay. So now I open this up to the middle of the book, and I kind of open it up, and then I stand back and look and see if I think it's even, whether there's kind of as many pages in the front as there is in the back of the book where we've opened it up. Oh, I am trying to use up this glue, you guys. There's some sense of satisfaction in being able to say you used something up. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I'm taking my paintbrush out of that mixture, and I'm just mixing it in here with the glue stuff and just getting it nice and coated. And some of that mixture was more like a half glue, half water mixture. I very seldom use Mod Podge myself. I do just usually basically school glue, and I've never had any problem with it, and it's much cheaper. So I'll just do like half school glue, half water, or maybe a third water, 2/3 school glue. So this was just an old pattern I picked up, and I like the color of it. These are good to have on hand. You can get them for nothing, practically nothing at the thrift store. So I do the same thing here as I did on the back of the book. We just do the same process. We just scrunch it up and we glue her down. Put a bunch of glue on the top. Make sure you get in the crease there good. And it kind of stuck to my fingers a little bit. And that's all right. It doesn't matter if it tears. Just kind of squish it up there and lay it down because I wanted that textured look. You wouldn't have to do this on this. This is like the inside of your book, like if you're opening your grimoire. Um, but it's well worn. It's going to look well worn, like our little witch that this is her grimoire has been in here looking and doing. And honestly, you could make this a real grimoire if you wanted. You'd have to do a little different process, but we're just doing like a display out of it. So we just make sure it's glued down good, and then we end up picking what we want for our 2 pages. Now I found this adorable picture of this little black cat, which my kids used to watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I think, remember her? Oh, here's the tulle. This was just tulle I had on hand, I think, from one of the girls' weddings. I just ran it across the page, did like 3 strips, and laid her down because just kind of let it hang over the edges and cut it off. And that gave me the base for the pictures. Oh, I was going to say her familiar was Salem. Remember that? That was a cute show. She lived with the ants, I think. Okay, so I kind of mess around because now I have some options, and I decide on this cute little familiar with its cute little witch hat on. And I'm just kind of looking and seeing, and then I decide on this cute little All Hallows Eve poem. And we just start working on this. We do the same process. Put a good amount of glue down, glue the pages down, and then we glue all over the top of it. And you'll see how easily and how nicely, because we tore those edges. Now this is dry. These edges are all dry. Okay, they've laid out. You can see the wind blowing there, so everything's got nice and dry. See how nicely that lays down? Okay, so we're going to put our little familiar down, and we're going to put this cute little poem down. It says, All Hallows Eve, the pumpkin grinned from ear to ear. The moon is bright, the sky is clear. This is the night we've waited for, when ghouls come knocking on the door, when witches ride their broomsticks high, and ghosts and goblins fill the sky. Then all the children will join the scene, sing and scream. It's Halloween. I love Halloween. I used to have so much fun as a kid. So we didn't buy costumes even then. We made our costumes. And sometimes, oh my gosh, you guys, sometimes the get-ups we would have on were ridiculous and hilarious. We basically just raided grandma's closet or mom's closet or did whatever. Yeah, we did not. My mom was pretty crafty, so we just make up whatever and go have fun. So we're just getting this done, and then make sure you get those edges done good. Oh, look how great it looks. Okay, look at my hands are all stained. My hands were stained for days. Guys, you can wear gloves. I am not good about wearing gloves, so I just kind of like, it's fine. It'll, I'll scrub it off. So it's kind of nice and crinkly, and oh, I love it. Oh, see here? Here's the back cover, which you don't, or the cover, which you don't really see when I display it, but well, we know it's done. So now we're going to take some of this antique wax by Waverly, and I use this for a lot of stuff. It's a great, it's actually for chalk paint, but which I use a lot. Sometimes, a lot of times I make my own chalk paint though. But anyway, we're just going to take, and I didn't want to get too big of a glob on there, so I kind of brushed it off a little bit, and we're just basically dry brushing. And we're just going to go around all the edges and then just play with it. Just play with it and have fun. We just want to blend the back page and all we've done in with this front page that we put on of the poem and the little kitty cat. So we're just going to take and do that all the way around. And I get really pretty heavy-handed on this project because in the background, the pages I chose, there are some images that I was like, oh, I can see what that is. So I get pretty heavy-handed, especially up there on the top left. But see, I even go in a little bit over the lettering because I want it to, look even, look worn, and I think that's the way you achieve that. You just blend away, and it's really to your liking. Now, if you don't have this, you could use a lot of things to blend this in with. You could use an ink pad. If you have ink pads, a brown ink pad, you could use some watered down acrylic paint and do the same thing I'm doing here. You could use the coffee stain. You know what I've done a lot of times is just taken a tea bag, because I've always got a glass of tea or a cup of hot tea. I'll just take the tea bag, bring it out, and literally just pat it onto the project. And you'd be amazed at how well that works. So, use the stuff you have, guys, and let's recycle and use what we can, keep stuff out of the dump, and make something fun out of it in the same in the process. So see, I'm getting pretty heavy-handed up here at the top, but I just wanted to cover up. It was some images of I think it was Frank Sinatra and some guys singing or something. So, but it ends up looking pretty fun and cool. So this will add to our kind of antique-y, older looking Halloween projects for this year. This is just an old easel I picked up. Now it's a pretty big one, but I sat it up and I put my book in it, and I did end up putting it up against the wall. So like I said, you don't see the back anyway. But that's it, guys. She turned out so cute. And so this is Modern Day Nana. I hope you guys will like and subscribe. And I will see you very soon with another video.